All right, everyone. Wanted to thank everyone first for joining us today. As always, I know it is a Sunday and I know people are away or relaxing. So this is recorded. We'll be posting it in the news desk after the webinar. Just a quick recap, as you know, initially we have in front of us the week ahead. So we'll go over that. Just a quick recap of the week. The markets we see continue to rally off of previous lows. We did have the Fed announcement on Wednesday, increasing rates by 75 basis points. We did hear comments out by DoubleLine's CEO Gundlach saying that the Fed is no longer behind the curve, starting to add some certainty to traders' minds. As we all know, one of the most important things in the markets do not like uncertainty. And with comments like this and other traders that we speak with, feeling the Fed is back and no longer behind the curve, we are seeing that volatility on market upside continuing. As you know, through our previous webinars, we did focus on earnings as being one of the most key aspects to watch as the markets were weak the past few months. And we did see the earning market beginning. We see comments coming out from analysts saying in regards to earnings, well, at least at this time around, it is not as bad as we expected. So that is the mentality when it comes to earnings season now. We are seeing analysts, traders mentioning the fact that the earnings are not as bad as what they thought. So we are seeing upside moves in some big names that are reflected in the overall market. As of right now, on the S&P 500 companies, we've seen about 55% of the companies reporting results as of now. So far, are 73% are EPS above estimates. One thing to know that the 5-year average is still higher, which is around a 78% upside B on S&P 500 companies. We'll continue to see any commentary or feedback from some big names this week. We do have Caterpillar, CAT reporting. We also have JetBlue, JBLU, Kellogg's, PayPal, Starbucks, Under Armour, Uber. So we'll get more ideas as well as these companies report this week. We also saw the GDP number showing a negative reading with a print of minus 0.9%. Is it a recession? We will leave that debate up to all of you. Coming up this week, it is all about, in our opinion, the employment report on Friday. We are expecting a print of 250,000 with unemployment at 3.6%, average hourly earnings coming in line at that 0.3%. So we'll see if that has any impact recently following all the commentary from some big companies in regards to slower hiring as well as recent layoffs. So we'll see if that has an impact on the employment view and outlook moving forward. That's coming up on Friday, as always, at 8:30 a.m. So let's take a peek at the week ahead. Initially, right up the bat, we have the upcoming U.S. and world events. You see your top earnings this week posted right here. As we mentioned, we'll be watching Caterpillar, CAT. We have CVS, eBay, JetBlue, Kellogg's, PayPal, Starbucks, Under Armour, Uber. So we have a few big names reporting this week that we'll be keeping a close eye on. On Monday, we do have your U.S., Eurozone, Germany, and the UK, the PMI manufacturing final, as well as the ISM manufacturing index on Monday. Tuesday, we have the RBA announcement, as well as some Fed speak from Feds Evans and Bullard. We also have motor vehicle sales, as well as the JOLTS job openings. As we all know, on the JOLTS side, this was Yellen's key indicator that was always watched on the Fed when she was Fed chair. So we always keep a close eye and ear on the JOLTS number. Wednesday, we do have on the oil side, OPEC meeting. I'm not expecting anything major to happen during that meeting, but we always have that on watch, as crude oil has been one of the key indicators on inflation and market movements as of late. Thursday, we have Fed Speak Mester, as well as the ECB Economic Bulletin. And Friday, we have the employment report We also have some overseas headlines where Putin will be meeting Erdogan, and we'll see if there are any updates or comments regards to that whole grain deal, or if any other headlines coming from that meeting will be posted in the news desk. Company events for the week, another slow week on the top shareholder and analyst calls. When it comes to conferences in the week, another slow week on conferences as well. So we've been seeing not much action in regards to individual company analyst meetings or conferences. As always, if anyone has any questions or regarding any companies that are reporting during these conferences, you can always shoot us in a message through the Ask the Desk, and we'll follow up with any details. Weekly sector performance, all green across the board. We did see that strength overall in energy as well, with a weekly gain of about 10%. So we did see strength across the board on all sectors for the week. Economic calendar, just what we'll be watching. As always, the red, we have the Fed speakers, which are always key to us in regards to any commentary or feedback in regards to any future moves or comments in regards to inflation or jobs. On Monday, we've got your PMI manufacturing, ISM manufacturing, and construction spending. Tuesday, we got the JOLTS job openings. As we mentioned, that is one of Yellen's key indicators, so we'll always keep a close eye and ear on that. Oil traders, as always, we have your API crude oil data at 4:30 p.m. after hours. Wednesday, we'll be watching we got the PMI composite, final factory orders, ISM services index, and the EIA petroleum report. We always keep an ear and eye on that as well, since it is, as we mentioned earlier, energy is one of the key factors that people mention as an inflationary issue. So we continue to watch those levels throughout the week. Thursday, not much on the agenda, typical jobless claims and the EIA nat gas report. Friday, as we mentioned, all about the employment report at 8:30 a.m. And we do have consumer credit at 3 p.m. Not many people focus on the consumer credit side, but it is interesting to see with the recent recessionary talk, how the consumer credit side is functioning. So we'll get an interesting number at 3 p.m. as well on Friday. Earnings, another busy week. As always, we do bold out the names we believe are some big names after hours and before market that are reporting. The whole list is provided in the report. As you can see, Wednesday and Thursday is typically the busiest of the week. Pretty busy lists going on through that. Industry comparisons we do every week on a 3-year basis. As we can see, the market is starting to rebound. These are levels from COVID, and we are back above, breaking above those levels as the recent strength in markets continue. The target probabilities for the September meeting, as of right now, for the currently target rate is 2.25% to 2.5%. Probabilities on the 2.753% at 72%, at the 3% to 3.25%, 28%. So we are watching, as well as the 10-year Treasury constant maturity minus 0.22. We've been seeing this negative print week on week, continuing. As we all know as well, this number is a recessionary number, but as we said before, we'll leave that all up to everyone. Year-to-date returns for the weekend. Nat gas, energy continues to stay at the top 3. Nat gas, not much of a move, still up 122% year-to-date. Heating oil as well, saw some strength, up 51%. Crude oil had a little pop, up 30%. The VIX slowly dropping. The VIX earlier in the year, early in the few months, we started to see VIX in the 60, 70, 80% range. Now only up 23.87%. Wheat had a pop this week from a previous week, which was down 2% to up 5%, as well as corn saw a big pop, up 4.26%. All other commodities, we did see a pop throughout. As you can see, coffee, a pop of about 4 or 5%. Gold, a pop of about 2%. Platinum, up 3%. All across the board higher. One of the other big move that we've been watching is the recent move in silver. Silver's been strong. Silver's up about 7-8% on the week. Silver in the past few weeks, as you can see in our previous week ahead reports, silver was always right by the bottom. So we are seeing strength in silver across the board throughout the week. One thing that we noticed interesting on our side is the AAII Investor Sentiment Survey did see a downtick on the bullish side, even with the recent strength that we've been seeing in markets. So we are seeing a downtick on the bullish side, about 2%. Downtick as well on the bearish side. So the bearish side is continuing its drop, and as you can see in the beginning of July, we had about a 53% bearish sentiment. Now we're at 40%. So we are seeing the mentality of traders on the upswing on the bullish side and more on the neutral views. Sector outlook, as always, energy as always number one. On the 3-year outlook, all green still across the board, up over 20 to even 70% on our sector outlook. So we are seeing that strength on energy continuing through this year-to-date percentage. IPO lockups this week, ACLX and VCT. Expected IPOs, as always. It says that on the expected IPO side, these are what are expected throughout the week. We've been seeing a massive run in recent IPOs, so we always keep a close eye on these throughout the week. FDA calendar, a pretty busy week. Basically every day this week we are seeing some action. Monday, IOVA, OTIC. Tuesday, CHRS. Wednesday, TGTX, REGN. Thursday, ACAD, SCYX, CGTX. So we are seeing a lot of names either with presentations or with their PDUFA dates. So we are keeping a close eye and ear on these specific names during these days. Next, we'll jump, as we always do, into the charts that we watch on a more technical aspect. Charts for the week. This is first where we added a new chart. This is the SMH, semis. Been in the news a lot lately. We have been seeing strong move in the semi industry. So as you can see, we did have a channel being built on the upside. We are watching these levels on either break to the downside. So we are keeping a close eye on the SMH, especially with the recent headlines and move that it has provided for the NASDAQ. So we are watching this channel on the upswing on the SMH. SPY Daily. We also provide little excerpts. So, when it comes to charts, we believe that the market has been very technical. These trend lines have been here, members, since we started doing the week ahead reports. We always mention when we do take out or add a specific trend line. So we provide you a view of what we're looking at on a technical aspect. SPYs, once these trend lines were broken, the moves were there, filling both gaps as we discussed, testing supports and just continuing the move to the upside. On this chart in the SPY, no changes were made from last week. The downtrend breaks continuing. We are watching this SPY level as a possible test on the resistance to the upside. We see this as a key indicator as we have a build right here of a channel on the SPYs that we are seeing as a resistance level watch on a test on the for the upside move continue. Could be see breaks above the 420 level, or we see a test and a drop back down to the 400 support. So we are watching the SPY on these on this level and keeping a close eye on all these technical indicators. On the SPY weekly as well, we are seeing the downtrend trends breaking that provided that upside move. We are seeing a close test of the resistance as we showed you on the daily side. More color to all our members whenever they have a chance to read those headlines. Another look at the SPY in a weekly with moving averages. We are seeing a test right here, as we've been mentioning. Will be interesting to see what this market does as this resistance is being tested. On the VIX daily, we are watching these levels as support and resistance. We did see this range broken this week, and that showed the weakness in the VIX. We'll be keeping a close eye on that 1820 level, as well as that upside move around the high 38. So we'll be keeping a close eye on the VIX as it continues to build this pattern. 10-year yield weekly, as well. Another technical look. It's been trading right down throughout their downtrend. Testing that support level this week. So we'll see if that support is tested and an upside move continues, watching that upside move above a 3%, that could show a stronger move to the upside of a test. So we'll be watching these levels on any technical move on the 10-year yield. The Russell, we added this as well, as we've been seeing action in the Russell 2000 ETFs. Watching these points, watching these resistance support levels, currently testing resistance levels, which we've been seeing throughout every single, high level ETF. So we are at a resistance point. We'll see if this level continues, this recent strength continues on the upside, or that resistance is tested, and we are seeing a little pullback coming in markets. HYG weekly, another pure technical move we've been discussing for weeks. Once that level was broken, straight shot up 3 weeks in a row. So we are seeing a very technical look in markets. We've shown you our patterns, our mentions throughout the week, and we are watching this HYG as well, hitting another resistance level at 78. If that level is broken, we could easily see an 80 print, but we are watching these points of resistance throughout a lot of these ETFs. S&P on the daily, continuing the discussion on levels that we're watching. Triple Qs as well, seeing that upside break that we've been discussing to the upside, and another level of resistance being tested. So we are watching markets on these resistance prints throughout. Oil, we've been discussing oil as well lately. Oil did break their downtrend with an upside move on Friday above that $100 level that we've been discussing. We're continuing to watch oil as that downtrend is broken. 95 level on the downside support, 100 on the upside. We'll be keeping a close eye on the volume. We haven't really seen that volume move, so we're keeping a close eye on volume on any indication on an upside or downside move. As well, another look at the crude oil with that downtrend broken. We'll continue to see if that upside continues this week. But as we mentioned, we need to see that the volume, which has decreased a lot on this downswing, we need to see that volume coming back into markets. So we are watching this as well on the crude oil side. And then we added, for our Bitcoin traders out there, we added a very simple Bitcoin daily chart, trading in a range. On an upside, we're watching on that 25,000, 26,000 level. On that downside is that 18,000 level that we're watching on a downside support. So that's a look at our week ahead, members. We appreciate any comments and feedbacks as well. As always, we believe the important aspects right now, markets are earnings, as well as this economic data, which we believe Friday will probably be one of the most important days. It is the beginning of the August month, so it'll probably be one of the most important days to begin the August trading month. We do have Fed speakers coming back on board following the FOMC announcement last week, with Fed Charles Evans on Tuesday, as well as James Bullard. And on Thursday, we have Loretta Mester. So we'll open up for any questions in regards to TradeXchange, what we're looking at on the week ahead, any comments on the Tradex Plus aspect. So we'll go mic silent for a few. If anyone has any questions, just throw it in the chat box, please. All right, so we had a quick question on the TradeWire aspect. As members, as you know, to all our current members, we are giving a free access to Tradex Plus as a thank you for our anniversary special. If you haven't reached out to us, we'll give you access. Eric had a question regarding TradeWire service. Can't seem to find a way to filter reports. Also seems like I have to choose to either watch filings or press wire. Is this right? Eric, that is not entirely correct. We'll give you a quick look. I'm bringing it onto the screen right now, if you can see it. So you have your TradeWire and TradeWire press wire. All you got to do is right click and add tab to the right. You can add it, duplicate it, and then you can go down here and add your however you want to have it set up. So you can add 2 tabs as long as you are signed into the service. You have access to TradeWire and your TradeWire filings. When it comes to the you mentioned something about filtering reports on the TradeWire SEC filing side. You click on the Form 4P side, and you can filter what reports you want to see. You can either have, your purchases, sales and purchases, SC13D filings, all that type, and it'll just automatically post in the, however you want to have it set up. So in regards to the question, you can have both your SEC filings and the press wire. You just have to duplicate the page, and then that gives you access to both those services. And you can pop them out however you want to do it. You have however you ever want to add, you can add to those specifics. And as we mentioned, this is where you add to your depending on what you want to watch. If you want to watch just the purchases, you can just watch that on any of these, or you can watch however you want to watch. So I'm gonna take this. Let's see if there's any other questions. Give me 1 second. We can check that out, Eric, in regards to the aspect of that not seeing the hamburger bar in the right corner. It could be a web browser specific. I'm not sure if you can enlarge it on your side and see if it does pop up there. When you do scroll, it does take it away on some browsers. But we'll follow up with that. If you can just shoot us an email, we'll update you on any of that regarding the TradeWire service. So it is on Safari. Yes, when it comes to a Safari browser, we did have issues in the past. We are working on some updates and patches on the Safari browser, but we do know of some issues when it comes to that specific browser. If you utilize any other browser, I don't think you'll have that issue, but when it does come to Safari, we do tend to see sometimes. We just have to keep updating patches for that specific browser. So we'll follow up on that, and if there are any updates, we'll provide that as well. Another quick question. I've been mentioning some upcoming changes, improvements in the Squawk news desk. Can you please elaborate and mention ETA? We are working on the Squawk side right now. We're going to be working on a much more, a lot of people have been having issues in regards to the volume aspect of things, or an auto on button type situations. We are working on finalizing, fixing that. Our new version of the Squawk will be a much latency faster than our typical Squawk. We're talking about milliseconds, but those milliseconds matter. So that is being worked on as we speak. And once that is released, we're going to see a much cleaner, clearer aspect of the Squawk through our TradeXchange side. We are going to be providing more information as well when it comes to the Squawk. We've been hearing a lot of feedback in regards to that aspect. So we are working on finalizing that for our members. We are, one of the key things we focus on is the speed and accuracy of the information. Our news desk, we try to provide one of the fastest possible in regards to the written aspect, and we are working on the Squawk side to provide an even faster aspect than the news desk. So that is something that we are very working on very hard, and trying to get that up and running, hopefully within the next couple of months. So we are working on that, in regards to the Squawk. The news desk side, as always, we always try to provide a cleaner function. So we are working on ways for our members to, we are working on ways for our members to, on a more utilization aspect in regards to ignoring or blocking certain, handles. In case you don't watch options, you can ignore those, so those don't pop up into your feed. We are working on a much more cleaner aspect in regards to the feed. As we always said, we will never change the way the news desk is. All we will try to do is make changes and advancements on the user interface side of things. So we are working on a more UI experience for our members, but as always, the content and information side will never change on the TradeXchange service. So we'll give it another couple of minutes. If anybody else has any more questions, just shoot it in that, and we'll try to provide the any updates and questions. So anybody have any comments? If not, we'll be closing up for the week. So we'll give it another couple of minutes. One final question we had, someone asked the Tradex Plus aspect that we sent out to our members. Yes, to answer all your questions, it is a free upgrade for the life of your subscription. This is a thank you to all our members. If you are a current subscriber, as long as you are a subscriber, you will have free access to the Tradex Plus until the life of your subscription. So that is no changes to any accounts. All you do is email us, give us a phone call, and we'll add you onto the system. This is a simple thank you from the TradeXchange to all our members. If anyone has any other things, that is an answer to that question. We'll be seeing a lot of those. So I want to thank everyone for joining us this week on the TradeXchange Weekend Recap and Week Ahead webinar. As always, if anyone has any questions, you can always reach out to us on the Ask the Desk and the News Desk, or shoot us an email or a phone call. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and we'll see you on the Squawk Monday morning. TradeXchange out.